Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I trust that you are doing great this glorious Monday morning. It was quite a Monday morning for me. um, you guys have seen my co-host TC, TC Toe Beans Lawson, and she's got an ear infection. And if you've had a cat with an ear infection, you kind of know what that is. If you had a kid with an ear infection, you kind of know it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Um, so she was up last night, and I didn't sleep, and she didn't sleep, so I didn't sleep, and we had a veterinarian's appointment, or she did anyway, at 8 o'clock this morning. Why I wasn't here with you, um, and so it was later in the day and night, and we're glad that you're here. It was quite a day, really, quite a day. We worked because we're in America and we get to work, so it's cool. All right. Let's see. I'm looking for the stories. I have them here. I promise. Let's see here. All right. There we go. You guys know Representative Cori Bush, Democrat from Montana. He's part of the squad. That's uh AOC, Anaya, whatever her face is, and the Sudanese woman. They're part of the squad. Their idea was that they were going to change the way that government works in America, kind of like how it works in China. I think that's how they're planning on doing it. But anyway, recently she engaged in some pretty outrageous antics from the House floor. She interrupted House Majority Leader Steve Scalise's remarks with a cry of "Your bills are racist." The behavior isn't exactly surprising, coming from a squad member. I mean, this is how they are. Anything to draw attention to themselves. I mean, their world is like TikTok. their whole worldview is like TikTok, right? Um, but it doesn't make it any less becoming, especially as then she sought to fundraise for by it days later. So it's not like it's one of those things that came up in her spirit and she had to spew it out. No, it was planned, it was set up so she could use it as a fundraising tool. Now she's been hit with an ethics complaint for it. Late last week, the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust issued a complaint requesting that the Office of Congressional Ethics investigate whether Bush abused official resources. That's the idea that you were there in the place for political purposes. As the complaint explains, Bush fundraised off of what is aptly described as an outrageous and unprofessional behavior by using official House government resources, that's being in the place, specifically the video footage of the official House proceedings, using that for her fundraising campaign. On July 28th, Bush tweeted from her campaign account that the July 27th C-SPAN footage, and then on July 31st added the link to Act Blue so people could donate. That the video footage came from C-SPAN is irrelevant, according to the complaint, because a member cannot use official footage even if it's obtained or reposted from another entity. So they can't get footage from somebody, anybody, CBS, NBC, ABC, C-SPAN, and then use it to fundraise with. There you go. So she used this and she tweeted on the 28th. I didn't get to finish. Their bills are also sexist, patriarchal, xenophobic, classist, homophobic, and transphobic. What Cori is trying to do is hit all the buttons because this is who these people are. They don't have anything to offer. They never have. Somebody was asking me, it was interesting. Somebody was asking me today, um, because they were, I mean, they have been told that all of this stuff started, especially all the race stuff started under Obama. No, 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 not at all. I had to tell him, no, no. Some of this, most of it, all of it, really, of this race stuff started way back when, way back when. Because the idea has been this. The idea has been, and I want to pull the curtain back a little bit. The idea has been, especially in the Democrat or liberal black community, that representation is everything. Representation is everything. Having a black face on the panel is everything, because the assumption is that having a black face on the panel is that that person is going to advocate for you. So a lot of you wonder why. I don't understand. Because black people live, in comparison to a lot of white folks, live a fairly conservative existence, or have historically. That isn't as true as it was 20, 30, or especially 50 years ago. It's not as true. But the idea was, even then, that a black face on a panel, a black face at a company, a black face in government, a black face somewhere, that person was always going to look out for you, going to advocate for you, because there wasn't any connection to whether we have the same values. Um, and a lot of people would have voted for Cori Bush because Cori Bush was black. Um, Now, Cori Bush and I have very little in common when it comes to values. Nothing, probably. So I'm expected to vote for Cori Bush and support Cori Bush because she is black. Because I'm supposed to believe that somewhere she has my best interest at heart and that she's going to advocate for me at some level. When I know for a fact that that's not true. And frankly, it's never been true. And that's the hardest lesson to learn. It's never been true. Someone like Cori Bush, someone like AOC, someone like Presley, I guess her name is Ayanna Presley or whatever her name is. Um, we have never had the same values. And she was never going to advocate for me, ever. But this federal law that Cori Bush is dealing with now, that the complaint cites, is 31 U.S. Code Section 1301, paragraph A, and the House Ethics Manual would seem to make it quite clear that Bush was in the wrong, as the complaint goes on to stress that at length. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just not going to read the whole thing. Um, will this go anywhere? See, all this is cool, I guess, but will it go anywhere? Will it go anywhere? Will Cori Bush get kicked out of Congress? Will Cori Bush be reprimanded? Will she get a big the shaking of the finger? Because that does zero. It really doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything. It turns these people into martyrs, and it actually helps their fundraising. And it actually helps their fundraising. So doing anything about this is kind of foolish, really. Yes, if she has done wrong according to fact or the OCE, yes, I guess she should sustain whatever penalties. But is it going to do anything? Is it going to hurt her chances of being in Congress in the next term in 2024? Not at all. Will it improve her chances of being in Congress? Yes. And I think that we have to know that. So when we punish the Democrats, quote, end quote, punish the Democrats, are we really punishing them? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't. But we have to wonder if we have to know that it's not going to give us what a lot of people believe are going to be the desired effects. It's not going to shame them. It's not going to cut into their fundraising. It's not going to stymie their campaign. It's going to do exactly the opposite. Even if it says, even if Bush didn't tweet out a fundraising pitch prompting his ethics complaint, her behavior is still egregious. The brief footage above, I mean, that's in the tweet, and that I'm not going to show, is insane. With Scalise trying to yield to Minority Whip Katherine Clark as Bush's shouting is heard in the background. Various members are heard incoherently shouting at different points as the Speaker Pro Tem bangs on his gavel on the call the House in order. The video clip also shows that young children are present, perhaps family members of the representative, while elected members of Congress behave like tantruming and toddlers. Now, let me take another side real quick. We've seen how they do it in England. People boo, people hiss, people shout out. So this idea, literally, this idea that people are supposed to sit quietly and not say anything, and there's supposed to be this, let me do it again. For those of you who are listening, I'm doing air quotes, this quote professional, end quote, assembly is supposed to be, I don't know, like some school thing. Frankly, I don't know if I want that either. I don't know if I want that. It's like when somebody yelled, "You lie," during President Obama's, State of the Union address. You remember that? You lie. You gotta remember who, and y'all remember who that is. But not the most appropriate thing. But I don't think that necessarily pulls you out of order. So if they can, I don't know, reprimand Cori Bush on this, okay, fine. Is it going to make a difference? Do I really believe it's the way it ought to be? First of all, it's not going to make any difference. And do I believe it's the way it ought to be? Nah, not really. I don't believe it's really how it should be. I don't think it, because I don't think it matters. I just don't think it matters at all. But it's going on. All my co-host is in. Any case, we're going to be back with another Biden crime family story right after these messages.
So would you, Tucker Carlson, be in favor of restrictions on the ability of trucking companies to use this sort of technology specifically to, sort of artificially maintain the number of jobs that are available in the trucking industry?
Are you joking? In a second. In a second. In other words, if I were president, when I say to DOT, to Department of Transportation, we're not letting driverless trucks on the road, period. Why? Really simple. Driving for a living is the single most common job for high school educated men in this country. I don't want to put 10 million men out of work because you're going to have 10 million dead families, and the cascading effect from that will wreck your country.
In North Korea, we were divided based on what our ancestors did. Like if my great-grandfather was a capitalist and landowner, they say your blood is tainted, your genetics is oppressive. And now they say being white, you're oppressive to other people. And exact same tactic, and the obsession on what we can say, what we cannot say, like North Korea. In North Korea, we get executed. In America, if you say the wrong thing, you lose your job, you lose your character and dignity, your livelihood is ruined. So of course we are not North Korea, but we are getting there. So at some point we need to turn back.
And I tell you what I'm tired of.
Hey, welcome back. My name is Willie Lawson. This is The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, 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 and FightBackMediaTV.com. We are thrilled, absolutely thrilled that you are here hanging out with us today. It's just like clockwork. Just like clockwork. Tick, tick, tick. The media are trying to avoid the Biden bribery scandal because, frankly, the evidence is mounting and the witnesses are credible. The third Trump indictment provided the safety net, this bumper, in the media, but that oasis won't last forever. Joseph Ziegler and Gary Shapley are the IRS whistleblowers who allege pervasive interference in their Hunter Biden investigations. They gave Democrats fits as they couldn't refute, deny, or discredit their testimony. What they were saying was true. And the Democrats, no matter how badly they were going after them, really couldn't, again, they couldn't refute or deny or discredit any of their testimony. The testimony could land Attorney General Merrick Garland in trouble after he declared the Department of Justice was not interfering in these criminal probes, which were supposed to be independent, which we're finding out it's not true. The FD, we talked about this before, the FD 1023 report from the FBI's informant, who's been feeding information about the Biden's relationship with Burisma since 2018, an alleged $10 million bribe to Joe and Hunter, accompanied by a ledger of payments and recorded phone conversation. Hunter and his associate Devon Archer were given comfy job at the Ukrainian company Burisma in return for legal protection and access to U.S. officials, which they got. Remember? Son of a bitch. The prosecutor got fired. Remember? So the ball is rolling. And Archer's close-up, closed-door testimony shredded another part of Biden's I don't know anything on defense when former Hunter associate said that Joe was at one of the business dinners. We talked about this last week, which he had long denied. He had said, I don't know what he's doing. But he was at the business dinner. The story of Joe being on the phone while Hunter is talking to the oligarchs in Ukraine and the people from Burisma, being on speakerphone. So this is from Fox News. Hunter Biden's ex-partner confirmed during his recent closed-door interview with the House Oversight Committee that then Vice President Joe Biden was at the infamous spring 2015 dinner with son Hunter's foreign business associates, despite the Biden campaign repeatedly saying Biden was never there. Devon Archer said, yeah, he was there. And when asked by Tucker Carlson, was he there long enough to have dinner? Yes. He said it wasn't exceptionally long, but he was long enough to have dinner. So yes, he was there. Devon Archer also told investigators that the elder Biden had dinner with him and several others, including Vadim P. from Burisma. When Biden arrived, Archer said Biden shook everybody's hand and joined their conversation. So it wasn't like he dropped by. I'm just here to drop my kid off. And then he split. No, he hung out. So in 2020, New York Post reported an explosive story about Hunter Biden introducing his then vice president father to the top executive at Ukrainian energy firm Burisma, where Hunter had served on the board and reportedly collected more than $50,000 a month. As we learned, it's like $84,000 a month. The story set off a firestorm of rejection from the Biden's close aides. Andrew Bates, who is now a White House spokesperson, of course, but at the time worked on the communication team of Biden's 2020 campaign, roundly denied the meeting ever happened. But Archer, who's a longtime Hunter Biden business partner and friend, contradicted those claims and said then Vice President Biden was in attendance and was part of the dinner. Fox News Digital obtained more than 140-page transcript of Archer's interview before the House Oversight Committee last Monday, which transpired behind closed doors. What would have happened if that would have been on TV? What would have happened if that would have been on C-SPAN? Anything? But the transcript shows that the investigators had asked Archer about the dinner mentioned in the New York Post report, which happened at Washington, D.C.'s upscale restaurant Cafe Milano in 2015. The story revolved around an April 15 email from Burisma board advisor Vadim Podolsky, I can't remember pronounce these names, who had written to Hunter Biden the day after the dinner to thank him for inviting him to the nation's capital and allowing him to meet his dad and spend some time together. So this idea that Joe Biden didn't know anything is, first of all, not true. It's just not true. Law professor Jonathan Turley observed how Archer's testimony and potential fallout follow the same pattern from the media on this story, describing the events of a hallmark of a state media by consent rather than coercion. The idea is that they are continuing to say no. They don't care. No, it didn't happen. Deny. But the fact of the matter is that the truth is coming out. The truth is coming out. Archer's testimony isn't as damning as Representative Dan Goldman's Democrat from New York line of questioning at the whistleblower hearing in July, which also scorched the Biden defense. However, it proves again another reason for the House Republicans and any journalist to sift through the buried details about this emerging government access scandal that the Biden is captained. These people are as dirty as the day is long. And this is hard. This is hard. This is a hard lesson for the American public. Because I think that we often say, oh, they're all dirty, blah, 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 blah. But we know we don't want to ever believe that our guy is dirty. Our guy is dirty. That our guy or girl or chick or trans or whatever is as dirty as the rest of them. This is tough because we're talking about at the highest levels. And even worse than that, which is why the media is bending and contorting and shape-shifting all over this, is because this is all while Joe Biden was vice president of the United States. And you know what else? This is all while Barack Obama was president of the United States. And all of this is going to fall back on top of Barack Obama. And the media doesn't want that because there is this ongoing love affair with Barack Obama. And this shows Barack Obama in a very bad light. If all this comes to light, this shows Barack Obama in the worst light ever. That he was president while all this was going on, especially now that you have this narrative being pushed that there were no scandals during the Barack Obama administration. Really? Anyway, so that's why this is so important. And this is why the media is covering it up like a cat trying to cover up poop. Because the smell is going to smell like Barack Obama. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.